Networking events are back. That's great news, depending on who you are. The thing is, though, networking events really are a great place to create in person and memorable connections. A connection today that could mean a new job tomorrow, next month, or even a few years down the line. So, I want to talk to you about how to wow new connections at networking events, my tips and tricks of the trade. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Sarah Curto, and I am the career coach for unhappy professionals who want to find their dream job. I help them do it so that they can work less hours, make more money, and finally feel fulfilled and happy doing work they love. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Finding Career Fulfillment, where I come every week. I almost said live. I don't come live. These are pre-recorded. Where I come and drop a new training every week so that you can leverage all of this incredibly valuable information to find your own dream job. So subscribe, because I don't want you to miss one. I just love doing this so much. Thank you so much for coming. Hit like if you've watched them before. Comment below. Tell me your name, where you come from. I actually realize I'm not always very good at asking you questions in this because I kind of like to pretend that no one's watching this. So I know. But I do actually want to know where people are from and who's watching and what you're learning. So please share below. Okay, networking events. I hate networking events, but I still do go to them. I have some stories that I will share with you below. So, okay, the first thing is you have to find the right networking event, and the right for your industry, yes, but also for your personality and all that. So some tips on how to find networking events. Associations are a great place to start. So the Human Resources Association, PMP, like project management professionals, professional engineers, like all of those associations have networking events. And so that's a great place to start. And I want you to then pick the ones that are the most suitable. You can also use meetup.ca, Eventbrite to see where else there could be some networking events. And I want you to do it in the cities that you want to work, because you want to build up relationships with people who are local, and especially for some smaller. So if you're in Ontario, I can tell you that Niagara, Kitchener-Waterloo, and all of those like smaller cities, they very much want to hire people who are connected within the industry. So it is a really good idea to be networking, and networking events is a great way to start to build those relationships. And you can find ones that even work for the most introverted of the introvert, because I know that I have found. Okay, so the right networking event can also apply to the type of networking event. I hate cocktail events. Like, I loathe them. And I recently tried to go to one just to test myself to see, I'm so much more confident now. And I really am much more confident now. I must be better at them. I am not. I went with a friend, like a peer, another, like a brand strategist, so another entrepreneur. And we went together, and I had to pull her into a corner to hide for a bit because I needed to recharge. So, and if she wasn't there, I probably would have just plopped down in a seat and just stayed there and let people potentially come to me. And if not, then I would have been perfectly happy not talking to anybody, because that's my go-to at a cocktail event. I find them incredibly overwhelming, overstimulating for me as a highly sensitive person. I can't stand them. I won't go to another one again. But there are other networking events that really work for me. The dinner event. I just went to another one, the Women as Career Coaches, where we had a table. It's like half women, half high school students. And we're just like, I'm like the actual career coach, but Most of them are just like employees or entrepreneurs. And we were just like talking and asking and answering questions with these high schoolers. And I definitely have done a lot of dinner events through the HRPA. They're much more my jam because you're sitting, you're talking to people at the table. There's like, you have food and drink to distract you. There's usually at a dinner event some sort of speaker, so you don't even have to talk the entire time. They are like tailor-made for me. So if you are an introvert, I highly recommend you consider going to a networking event that's a dinner event, because I will go to those by myself and I'll actually talk to people. So that is something that could work. But there's lots of different networking event types out there. Find the one that works for you. Okay, so then you've picked your networking event and now you have to prepare for one. So I want you to figure out what to wear. That's like the first thing. Well, after you registered, and all that. And I would say that most events are business casual, but there may be some that are more casual in nature. And there might even be some that are more traditional, so like suits. So if you're unsure, email the membership coordinator. They will be on the webpage of that, or the person organizing the event, and just ask them. They're going to gladly answer. So figure out what to wear. Number 2, practice your elevator pitch. And here's elevator pitches that actually work. That's a great YouTube training that I did that I highly recommend you watch, because this is your 30-second pitch. It's also talking points. So I like never deliver my pitch, as you'll hear in there. I hate elevator pitches, but I feel that those pitches are a great set of talking points that you will want to ensure that you can talk about. So make sure you have that ready and prepared so that you can use it when you need it. Having a digital business card or in-person business cards would be a good thing to do. And then goal set. This is for me, which means it's probably for you too. I find it helpful having a goal going into an event. Otherwise, I will just sort of do nothing. So if I'm going to a cocktail event by myself, I will sit in the corner. I literally have done that, and I've perfectly fine. It was like pre-smartphones. I just sat there. I'm fine with that. Or if I go with other people, I will not talk to other people, or really build relationships with other people. So I like to have a goal of having a meaningful conversation with X number of people, 1 person, 3 to 5 people, whatever it is. And then having maybe some quick connections. So my standard was having 1 meaningful conversation and having 3 to 5 quick connections with another person. And now this will propel you to put yourself out there a little bit more. And if you are in the local, if you are in a local area and you want to stay in that local area, it may be a good idea for you to understand the companies you really want to work for, and then see who works at these companies. And this is how it could come invaluable. And this is why I love networking events, even though I hate them as well. I knew that I was very interested in trying to work with one of our school boards here in the Halton region. And so I was on their websites and I knew all of the people who worked in their human resources department. And I it was my very first by myself holiday dinner networking event with the HRPA. I'd only ever gone with people before. And I literally almost didn't go. I almost went to the movies instead. But I forced myself to go because I was picturing myself going home to my husband and saying, I didn't go. I went to the movies instead. And him knowing I could have done it. So I went and I sat down at a table, and there was these group of women. They were coworkers. You could tell they were talking away about work, and they had name tags on because everyone has name tags, and it was the names of the people from one of the school boards. So I figured out a way to get into their conversation. I asked them where they worked, even though I knew where they worked. They told me they worked at the school board, and I was like, oh, I want to work there. And they were like, oh, really? And they asked me what I did. I said how I was a recruiter. And then one of the women leaned back and showed off her very pregnant belly and said, well, you should take my mat leave. So I did. So while networking events don't always lead to jobs specifically, in this case it did, a lot of times it leads to a conversation that takes place again outside of the networking event that can lead to jobs. But this is why you want to know who you want to work with and who works there, because you never, ever know who's going to be there. Okay, how to create connections at the event, because you're dressed for success, your elevator speech is practiced, you know where you want to work, and you have your contact details ready to hand off. Now, I want you, if there's a cocktail event, I am not the best person to ask. I guess you figure out a way to approach people. I'm not that person. My style is more, the few that I've been to, is I will just stand or sit and let people come to me. And that has worked. People have approached me. It means I'm not in control of the situation, and I'm fine with that, because it's too scary for me to go into a conversation I don't know. But if you are great at cocktail events, please share your tips on how to do it. For a seated event, you're just gonna approach a table and take a seat, or ask if the seat's taken. And then that way you can introduce yourself there and just ask questions. Be curious. That's literally my only piece of advice for a networking event, is to be curious. Ask a lot of questions. People love talking about themselves. And then that way, when you do talk about yourself and you do kind of deliver your elevator speech, you are able to do it in a way that makes sense for them and who you're talking to. Now, after the event, there is still some work to do. I want you to make sure that if you haven't at the event, that you go home and connect with that people on LinkedIn, and then anyone you are very interested in maintaining a relationship with, or that you are interested in talking about or picking their brains, set up another meeting. So I find with me, because I ramped up my networking again this winter because I had gotten out of the habit, like I think most of us had. Over COVID, is I go to these networking events, and then I expect in the next couple of weeks that I'll have 1 or 2 networking meetings with certain individuals that we just clicked and we really wanted to keep working together. I'm going to be writing an ask, like an advice column with another coach that was born out of a networking event that led to a one-on-one meeting that led to this. I don't know what we're going to call it. We have some names, ideas. It's hard coming up with name ideas for a column. But anyway, so you want to reach out to them. You want to start building a relationship, because the networking event is just the start of it. Okay, that's the networking event. How do you feel? Are you going to go to one? Where are you going to go to one? You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And if you need help doing it, if you need help with networking in general, then please come join us in the Find Your Dream Job program, because I have a whole series of modules on all the different types of networking. Networking events is just one. There's 3 other ones. So I want you to create a networking strategy that is suitable for you and your personality and what you want in your career and in your industry. And I would love to help you do that. You can join us by clicking the link below, and I'll see you here next week with another free YouTube training.